I'm not sure how well I did, but I gave it my best. How is it now that I am being told in so many different ways that I do not belong here? This is my home. Has anyone ever told you that you do not belong in your home? It's absurd. It's unacceptable. I pay my taxes. I try to contribute to society. I try my best to be a good Samaritan and volunteer at any chance I get. Yet I am being told that I am an enemy and a threat to my own country because I believe in one God and all of his messengers, including the last prophet, Muhammad. May peace and blessings be upon all of them. But wait a minute. Does it not say in the United States Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal and have inalienable rights, that to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Then what have I violated? If submission to peace is my life, and wearing hijab is my liberation, and praying 5 times a day fulfills my happiness, then what have I done that is un-American? What did I do to deserve these hateful words being said about me and these frightened stares I encounter when I board an airplane? I have done nothing wrong. When people have a medical question, they turn to a doctor. When people have a question about math, they turn to a mathematician. But when people have a question about Islam, they are turning to politicians. What rationality validates this logic? What credibility do people like Donald Trump have when talking about Islam and Muslims? I have been Muslim for almost 27 years, and a practicing one at that. And I am in no way, shape, or form in a position to speak about the entire faith and all people who practice this faith. I'm not an expert, and I'm not all-knowing. Not one politician or media source has that credibility. So then I ask myself, why are my fellow Americans receiving and accepting this misinformation from unreliable sources? I expect more from my countrymen and women. We are more intelligent than that. This also pains me as an educator because I feel that there is a large amount of people who missed a step in their education. Validate your sources before you lay any claim to a stance. It is the first step a student should learn in all their social studies classes. In fact, history and social studies classes are the first line of defense for our country, and I am proud to say my brother and I are both history teachers, and we happily defend America in this way. I'd like to say, though, if we took the time to study history, we will see in every point of time there is some group of people who get to be the one that gets to be picked on. They get that lucky chance. The earliest U.S. history textbooks used to paint Native Americans as cannibals, and we know that's not true. And then we have the Jews, the Catholics, the Irish, the Protestants, the Japanese, and let's not forget the enslaved Africans who later became African Americans, who all endured the same type of hatred, unpopularity, ridicule that Muslims in America are facing today. Each of these groups weathered their storm bravely, and the Muslims of America will do the same. We will hold strong to who we are as Americans and as Muslims until the storm passes, but we will do so with all Americans of every color, of every faith by our side, because that is what America stands for, and this is how we will come out on top. Thank you for listening.
The better part of 20 years. It's a secret facility, and the way that it was found out public-wise is there was a writer from the Guardian newspaper, it's in England, Stuart Acumen, who wrote about it. Well, some of the advocates on the ground, including myself, began to actually talk about it. We begin to put a strategy together to galvanize the public about Homan Square, Chicago torture. And we know from our research and our advocacy, as this conversation started about 6 months ago, so it's a recent conversation, but we know that that facility is still closed. Basically, they still take people into this warehouse. It was actually a Sears warehouse, and some of the cases to where people have actually disappeared, we can't put it back to Homan Square, but there's never an arrest report. There isn't, in this particular facility, you have masked police officers. They were actually police officers who were tactical police officers who wear masks. And a lot of people have disappeared out of there. We are tracking at least one possible murder from a police incident. And some folks who are alive now who went there and who have actually gone on record saying that the police drugged us and made us write statements. So we're in a very serious fight in Chicago, Illinois, in a lot of ways. I know you've seen the TV, but the Homan Square is one of the fights. Obviously, police brutality is another fight. And, again, as we are implementing change, these are the types of